have 2 exhibits to present, and then the family has a few impact statements.
All right.
Possibly just one that they would like me to read into the record, which I have already shown the defense.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
State's Exhibit 1 is a video of Gary Farris with his granddaughter, Olivia.
That dress in her mouth somewhere.
She's like, yes. Why is she just squirming? Squirming. You used to squirm, girl. Aren't you?
She's at that point. She wants to flip over on her belly.
Girl. That's all you is. You used to squirm, girl. You gonna stand up for me? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
She wasn't talking.
Had a rough day.
Who was the child?
Olivia, his granddaughter, Emily Payne's
All
daughter.
right. Okay.
And that was from May of 2018. And then, Judge, this is just a photo, State's Exhibit 2, that we'd like to put into evidence as well.
All right.
And at this time, I'm going to read into the record a statement written by Emily Payne on behalf of the family. Your Honor, since our father was taken from us, our lives have been filled with an unbearable void. Every day feels like a constant reminder of what we have lost. Gary was a father, grandfather, brother, uncle, friend, and colleague to many. We miss his laughter, his warmth, and his presence in our lives. It's a pain that will never go away. Gary was not just our beloved father, but our confidant and our rock. Now we are left to navigate life without his guidance and support. Every milestone, every happy moment is tainted by the thought that he will not be here to share it with us. There will be no more birthday parties, backyard gatherings, holiday celebrations, or other family activities to share together. Those opportunities to say I love you are forever gone. Our family is forever broken from this tragedy. This loss is only made worse by the betrayal of trust we feel for our mother. To know that the person who caused the suffering to our family was someone we relied on the most is a wound that may never heal. Our children are now growing up without their big daddy and grandma. The impact on their young lives is devastating. They ask questions we cannot answer, and we often find ourselves lost for words when they ask why they don't have a grandmother or grandfather. We ask this court to consider the gravity of this crime, the devastating impact it has had on our family, and to ensure that justice is served. No sentence can ever bring our father back, but a just punishment can offer a semblance of closure and prevent another family from experiencing this unimaginable pain. Your Honor, that's...
And there's Chris Farris right there wiping away the tears that are streaming down his face. He's going to be giving a statement this morning as well. We'll be right back.
Now.
We continue following breaking news at this hour. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. We're watching the sentencing hearing for defendant Melody Farris. She murdered her husband Gary and then burned his body in the family's backyard. Now she's set to find out whether she will be sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole or without it. That is the legal question, with or without parole. That is what His Honor is going to be tasked with deciding today. We were just hearing a statement. It was written from the perspective of the children of Gary Farris, their perspective as victims here and the loss of their father. And it was authored by daughter Emily Farris. We heard that Chris Farris was going to be speaking, but perhaps that has changed because now we're hearing from a defense friend His name is David Thomas. You saw him. He was a defense witness during the trial, a journalist. Let's take a listen now to what he has to say from the perspective of Melody Farris.
No, swear, man.
Clear. You swear and affirm this testimony that you give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, put your hand down. Can you judge this for record purposes? Can you state your name?
David Thomas.
Okay, and have you prepared a statement to read to the court for purposes of sentencing?
I have.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, may I address the court and say a few things to you and the family?
All right.
First, I'd like to address the Farris family. I want each and every one of you to know how sorry I am for the loss of your dad, your brother, and Melody, for your husband, Gary. I understand what it's like to lose both parents. I buried both of mine in the pouring down rain in 29-degree weather on a Christmas Eve not too long ago. So I understand all the questions about death and why. Yours is even more complicated as to who and why. You are all in my prayers and in my thoughts as these years have gone by. No amount of money can ever replace a parent, a spouse, or a brother, and no amount of money is ever worth anybody's life. Second, Melody, I am your friend. And I will stand up for you today because in this 8 months, 6 years ago that I came to know you, I witnessed what a true friend could be to another friend of ours who was fighting for his life, as he still is today. I saw what your heart was made of in spite of your own circumstances and problems, and that you wanted to help, not to hurt, but to help. I saw the kindness you showed myself along with other people around you. I know your story always remained the same and it never changed. And in my heart of hearts, I believe in your innocence. For I would not be here today along with our friend in spirit, Alan, who is fighting this horrible disease called cancer as we speak. Third, Your Honor, this is my friend Melody. Melody Walker Farris, whom I come before you today on her behalf as a friend to ask you for mercy. I ask you for grace. I ask you for leniency upon your decision of her sentencing. Gary's death was a horrible tragedy, and there is no excuse for murder on any level. But to convict someone and sentence them for life is even more of a tragedy in itself, especially if it is the wrong person, and especially if all of the evidence was not able to be presented to the jury as a complete investigation should have been brought forth. There were a lot of holes in this case and a lot of unanswered questions. I don't know who's responsible for Gary's death. I know the jury did the best they could with the information that they had to work with, Your Honor. But there were doubts, and there still are for many of us in this case today. I don't know who will have to live with that burden for the rest of their lives, but in coming to know Melody, I cannot believe she is the one responsible for her husband's death. And if
Judge, I'm going to object. He cannot impeach the verdict. That's an improper statement. He can talk about it affects him and the family, but he cannot impeach the verdict.
I'm going to let him go ahead.
If I gave you a roadmap and tore it in half and expected you to reach a decision in this case without all of the information, that would not be fair to anyone, including Gary, if the wrong person was convicted. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. Anyone got any questions?
No.
All right.
Judge, we just
All right.
have one more. If the court will recall, there was a gentleman that sat behind Ms. Farris during the entirety of the trial. That is Mr. Alan Wilson. Who's suffering from cancer, as your Honor was referring to. He's unable to be here due to his sickness.
Okay.
So he's prepared to say if I can leave for the court.
All right. Go.
I've seen it.
All right. All right, go ahead.
Judge, it'll take me a second because I got to zoom in. Mr. Alan Wilson writes, I've been Melody Walker Ferris's friend for the past 30 years. I helped to build her and Gary's house at Hampton Hall, and that's where our friendship began. I have watched her children grow up over the years and become adults. Melody has always been an incredible friend to me. Melody always went the extra mile to make sure that I was okay in my life, even at times when things were not good in hers. I appreciate her more than you know, especially 6 years ago when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It took everything she had to help my friend Dave throw a surprise Christmas gathering for me, but she did, even when her world was falling apart. We have done things over the years like dinner, social events, and just plain hanging out, as Melody would give you the shirt off her back. She always loved her children, no matter what. She loved Gary from the beginning and stuck with him over the years, stating and trying to raise their 4 children as a mother should. She was there for Gary when he was sick. She was there for her children when they needed her. And next one. And she was there for all of us. Judge, I believe we just will have some argument as to sentence, but Ms. Farris wanted to address the court whenever it's appropriate.
I'll generally let her go last, so long as she doesn't talk about the facts of the case. So y'all can go ahead and present.
I'm going to reserve that, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Judge, just has the argument. We've already addressed the murder issue. We agree with that.
Okay, so here's what's going on. Melody Farris wants to address the court. She is going to speak ahead of the court imposing sentence on her case. This is huge. And what the attorneys just decided there is they're going to give their arguments before she speaks. So you will hear her after her attorney makes his arguments. We need to back up and address something else really important here. Chris Farris, because he was expected to give a statement, and our team in the courtroom learned that it was a surprise even to prosecutors that when the time came to call him forward to give his victim impact statement that he declined. And so he has a right either way. He has a right to deliver a statement or every right not to. It is his choice. Prosecutors always give the family the courtesy and the opportunity and allow them to come forward if they so wish. If they don't, then everything proceeds. So I wanted to back up and clarify that because we were all surprised, and we're communicating with our colleagues in the courtroom who are filming this, and they learned that he just chose not to. And we saw he was pretty broken up there in the gallery during many points of this. We also know that there were some other people very close to Gary sitting there as well who are not giving statements but are there to give support. John and Nancy Farris. John and Nancy. John is Gary's brother and Nancy is his wife. Chris and his wife are there. Of course, we saw Scott. You heard the letter that was read, authored by Emily, from the perspective of all of the Farris children. And then we right away saw the shift to the defense side where David Thomas, Melody's friend, was really talking more about the trial and his disagreement with the jury's decision than he was talking about Melody and her character as a person. And that's why we saw the objection come from the prosecution.